The brand new oval at Rockingham in Northamptonshire near the town of Corby, the venue for round 6 of the Fiesta Championship. Now, not using the full oval, but using the 2.5-mile international road course instead. Nick Padley and Matt Pinney, the front row men, get away nicely on the damp circuit. Behind them, the orange car is Alan Blencow in third, Colin Stankham, the black car, in fourth place, and the red car, number 1 with the yellow backing behind the number, that is the championship leader, Colin Turkington, qualifying down in 7th place on the grid, but the Ulsterman getting a good start. Damp track and wipers on, well, on Turkington's car at least, and Padley, the white machine, leads them through the double left-hand hairpin that comes off the banking for the first time. Little bit of contact there. Colin Stankham goes off onto the dirt. That'll allow Blencow in the orange car perhaps to get by. No, he doesn't. Turkington right with them there. Oh, and Julian Griffin gets shoved out. Well, this is always door-handle to door-handle stuff. Turkington comes by the men battling for third place and takes it for himself. Nick Leeson there. Ben Roper inside him. Oh, and Turkington's off. Contact with Alan Blencow. Turkington spun round at least twice there in the tight chicane. Mud everywhere. Cars off everywhere, including Terence Clark, who seems to be firmly buried on the outside. Turkington turns round and rejoins right at the back of the field. Well, on board with Matt Pinney in second place. Nick Padley on pole position. He leads the race in front of us. Padley on slick tyres and Pinney on wet weather tyres, having just as big a moment on the very slippery track. And look at this, it really is very slippery out there. Gillian Butcher flying 4 square across the corner, recovers from the dirt. Pinney leads from Padley after that big handful for Nick Padley. And in third place, Alan Blencow's orange car. And there is Gillian Butcher, none the worse for her gravel trapping exploits there over the loose, ahead of Ian Murray. And Turkington pulling off. It seems his car has been damaged in that spin. Well, let's see what happens. It's a touch, in fact, first from Colin Stankham between the two cars. Blencow locked up, trying to avoid the spinning red machine. It was already out of control by that stage, but just adds to the woes of Turkington, who gets spun round once and again. And they all just about squeeze by him. On board then with Matt Pinney. Oh, locks up, gets it all wrong, down to the hairpin. Real handfuls of opposite lock trying to sort it all out. And somehow manages to stay in the lead, but I wonder how close Nick Padley is now. Well, you would think that maybe wet tyres might be an advantage on the wet track, but it is obviously more icily greasy than anything else. Yeah, there is Pinney, Padley right behind him, Blencow third, Stankham in fourth place. And with this mixture of tyres, seems like nobody's really got an advantage in these early stages, and certainly not over that wet mud all the way over there. The slippery surface flag's been shown, and very clearly it's really quite horrid down there. The rest of the field streaming through. They're starting to spread out a little bit now, aren't they? And just a flick of the wipers on Nick Padley's car in second place shows that there is still a little bit of spray coming up, and Stankham the same as well there in car number 4 in fourth place. Picking up a little bit of filth from Alan Blencow's wheels. Now, of course, in treacherous conditions, you really don't want to have poor visibility as well. Stankham locked up from behind, hits Blencow. Blencow holds a monster slide. Ray Claydon slips by both of them. That's opportunistic driving from Claydon. Stankham off on the outside and, well, shedding bits of cone and bodywork all over the place. Claydon third then. Fourth place, the orange car of Blencow. Fifth place, Colin Stankham. And Stankham just misjudging it a fraction, locked up under braking. Oh, and here again. Oh, and Matt Pinney just gets it round, but this time he does lose the lead. Out onto the banking they come. That was the final corner of the infield. Now they come all the way around turn 4 on the banking. He's right down on the apron on the level part, but still Nick Padley somehow had about enough momentum to stay ahead. Now they'll rise up through the final corner along the start-finish line under the flagman's gantry there. Again, the wipers on, showing that there is a lot of fine misty spray coming up off the cars, even though it doesn't look that bad. Down through the chicane, little infield turn rather than going through turn 1, back up onto the banking again. Let's see who gets it right. Watch their front wheels, see who locks up first. No, well controlled under braking. Matt Pinney can't do it when he's leading, but can do it properly when he wants to take the lead back from Nick Padley. Ray Claydon's blue car still third. It looks as though the battle for the lead might be between these two, Matt Pinney and Nick Padley. Oh, and Padley's got better drive for some reason. Might be drying out a fraction. He seemed to be quicker out of the corner, was actually bumping into the back of Matt Pinney there as Pinney's wheels were spinning. Both, of course, got the throttle hard down. Well, this is the replay of the previous lap. You can see quite clearly Matt Pinney doing a good job there to save the spin, but still losing that lead. And here the infield chicane, what are we seeing here? All flying through nice and safely. Pinney and Padley first and second, and again, oh, Pinney locks up the front wheels dreadfully. Now can Padley come back inside him? Yes he can. Can he stay clean? Yes. But Matt Pinney has the inside line for the right-hander that follows. Now, unlike a lot of oval circuits in the States, this one has actually got several blind brows and lots of elevation changes. Not monster ones, but a few elevation changes. Sort of a little rippling valley running through the middle of the infield, and they go up and down and up and down. Really quite interesting. Good setup of corners here at Rockingham. All right, the outside is newly sown grass seed and fairly muddy, but in a year's time or so you can imagine this is going to be a very picturesque circuit indeed. And of course the oval attracting the Champ Car Series later in the season. Oh, and Alan Blenko loses it under braking. Ray Claydon's gone wide somewhere and has got a cone under the car. Blenko comes back on. Oops. Gillian Butcher trying to squeeze through there. And there is Ben Roper's car, 77. And here is Blenko, reverse angle, down into the right-hander. And that's where he got tapped earlier on by Colin Stankham. Don't forget, Stankham there came in locked up from behind. That's how Ray Claydon got past the two of them. Stankham trying to keep on the throttle all over the curbs there as well. Well, Padley starting to ease away a little bit from Pinney. Oh, dear, oh dear. All three of those marker cones taken away by Ray Claydon. They are lightweight plastic, they're flexible. They're actually supposed to sort of bend and spring back up, but he's taken them all. Matt Pinney right up by the wall there, a little worryingly close to the wall. And Claydon sheds all those bits of plastic, and he's lost the cone underneath as well, so he's collecting and distributing plastic all the way around the circuit. Nick Padley easing away in the lead as we see the battle here. This is Nick Leeson with Richard Marsh inside him. Oh, and Leeson locking up the back end of the car going downhill, and the nose pointing up towards the concrete retaining wall. Got to avoid that at all costs. Big solid walls around the outside here, and certainly a lot more solid than the nose of a Fiesta. And Marsh now gets it all crossed up through that little chicane. It drops down, and then right as the car's compressed, you have to flick from turning left to turning right, and it didn't like it very much there. The tail's swinging round on him. Well, manages not to lose his place to Julian Griffin anyway. Padley still easing away little by little from Pinney. Looks as though there may be a lot more grip now. Don't suppose the temperatures are any higher, but the slick tyres probably finding a bit more traction than the wet-tyred cars. They both pass Colin Turkington's stationary car, the erstwhile championship leader, winner of the first 3 races of the year. Look to have this championship firmly under control, and it's all gone wrong since then. Padley and Pinney with a win apiece. And one of them looks as though they will certainly take victory here. Colin Turkington, well, he hasn't had the greatest run of luck in the last 2 races. A couple of incidents have kept him off the top spot. Still very much in the championship, and through the chicane off the banking. Matt Pinney using a lot of curb there. Looked as though Nick Padley was getting through a little quicker. Behind them, battle for third. Ray Claydon under pressure from Colin Stankham. Stankham goes around high. Claydon comes up. Stankham looking down underneath, is he? No, it'll be a battle under brakes. Claydon tucks in first. And Stankham using a neater line. He's got a run on him. So as they come back onto... Oh my goodness, Ben Roper! Ben Roper, a huge crash there on the chicane coming off the banking onto the infield. Oh dear, and how ironic, trying to sell his car as well. That's pretty much unsaleable. Claydon, Stankham and Blenko now all together. Marshall's rushing to Ben Roper's aid after that high-speed roll. Looked as though he was okay inside the car. The car's taken a big battering. Stankham gets past Claydon. Wonder if Stankham's on slicks, Claydon maybe on wets perhaps. We'll have to see how they progress. Claydon under pressure as well because Alan Blenko, the orange car, pushing him along. Getting even muddier there in that little infield chicane, isn't it? And they've now got Gillian Butcher closing in from behind. There she is, the white car. Nick Padley's teammate, and Blenko trying to go the inside line the moment they come off the corner. He's got much better drive than Ray Claydon. I think that Claydon is probably on wets and the other two may well be on slicks. Little wave there from Blenko saying thanks for giving us the racing room there as Claydon comes back by him. And red flags are out. Well, red flags are out. The race has been stopped. And that's because of this incident. Ben Roper, well, we don't see the start of it, but clearly too fast and too late turning in off the banking. And the car starting to slide with the tail, digs in the mud and throws him into a vicious roll. So it's victory then for Nick Padley, and that launches him to the top of the championship points as well. Pinney, Claydon, Stankham, Blenko and Butcher the top 6. And in the championship it's Padley from Pinney. Erstwhile leader Turkington slides to 3rd.